Hey guys, Nintendo Hodge back again to do a little talk about some Christmas nostalgia. I was doing some cleaning up around the house over the weekend. I found some of my old toys in my son's bedroom that I had given him. I recall getting these at Christmas time. I don't remember exactly the year. I did some looking online and I want to say it was around 1990 maybe. So I was probably 8 years old at the time maybe when I got these. And I just remember coming out Christmas morning, coming out into the living room. The tree was up and lit and looked really good, and all the toys Santa used to leave us were out and unwrapped, sitting around the tree. And I walked in, and just going over in my head, thinking about this again now, I got spoiled rotten. So I have some of these still that my son plays with, and I'm going to share those with you, and just a memory of those toys. I'm sure a lot of you will remember these ones. So one of the first ones here I'm going to show you is this guy here. I don't know if you can tell from looking at him here or what he is or not, but it's from the Real Ghostbusters cartoon toy line. I was huge into the Real Ghostbusters. So I can't remember what this guy's name was, but he came with a couple other ghosts that you would put into his mouth. He doesn't really work anymore, but you press him and he would pop. I think he's got a hole in him somewhere now so the air doesn't flow, but this would pop out and shoot other things. So there was this guy here. He used to have a bunch of ghosts that used to be with him. And then along with that guy, I had this guy. He has a top part, I just don't know where it is right now. And it's a little blue guy, and he squirts water if you squeeze him out of his eyeball, and then the top part would sit on him and it would shoot water out of the nose. And I looked it up, and he was actually called the H2 Ghost, I think it was, or H2O Ghost. So I had this little guy. We used to play with him in the bath all the time, and that's what my son likes to do when he has his bath. And then there's this guy here. I took me a bit, but I remember where he was from. This little orange guy, and he came with a bigger monster. I'll show a picture because I'm gonna add some pictures into the ones that I talk about that I don't have anymore. And I looked it up, and he was called he was a big orange monster, and I believe it was called a Gooper Ghost Squisher. And he used to pour slime into the top of him, and it would come out his nose, and the Ghostbuster was supposed to sit in the mouth of the monster, and then the goop would go down on top of the Ghostbuster. So this guy came from that set there. And then I had this guy here too. Looks like your ordinary little toilet. And then when you move, the mouth opens. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but the top's supposed to open too, and he's got the tongue and the eyeballs. This would frighten any kid from using the toilet, that's for sure. So this is a cool little guy I had. And then one of the other ones that I still have that I had from back in there, and everybody's gonna know this guy here, and that's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I still have this one to this day. This is the one I got. So I'm pretty sure I got all these guys. Maybe not this guy here, but I definitely got these other ones on the Christmas morning. And then the reason I say it was spoiled is on top of those guys, I remember getting Egon, I remember getting Ray, and I remember getting Peter, because in the picture that I'll show you here again, the little ghosts that were there, I believe Peter was the blue ghost with its arms up kind of like this, and then Ray, I think, was the purple ghost with a really curly tail, and Egon was a yellow ghost that you could like put on top of their heads like he was getting slimed or whatever. And I remember getting those guys for sure too. This was an awesome toy line. I mean, I don't know, in my opinion, they don't make the toys like they used to. I know a lot of people say the kids got the cool toys nowadays, but these are awesome little toys. Like this guy here, I wish I had the other part to show you with it. I know it's somewhere in the house, but it's really cool, playing in the bathtub and squirts the water out. And I recall, I don't think I ever had the Ecto one. I think my cousin got that. But there were a couple other toys that I think came in a second series of the set where there were the actual movie monsters. So I remember Count Dracula, and there was the Hunchback, and I'm pretty sure I had those two as well. But yeah, I was really big into the Ghostbusters cartoon, and I just remember Christmas being so happy that I got all these toys, and like I said, I definitely got spoiled. So yeah, do you guys remember these toys? Did anybody have them from their childhood? I've seen some other people post their nostalgia toys. Roknot did a good video on his. His were mostly G.I. Joes, I believe, and a few Ninja Turtle stuff. But these are the ones that I definitely remember from Christmas. So yeah, it was good time back then, and yeah, it just makes you think, doesn't it? Keeping with the nostalgia theme, while I was doing some more tidying up, I found a bunch of these. It's not related to Christmas, but I figured I would share them anyways. And there's a whole whack load of them here. I'm going to take a bunch of video footage and show them to you while I talk about them here. But they are from Nintendo Power magazines. I used to collect them. Silly me, threw them out the recycle bin. I probably had 40 of them. I remember taking them one day at my old house, down to the end of the driveway, putting them in the recycle bin. I mean, kicking myself now for doing that. But I mean, these ones here are the Killer Instinct one. There's 4 different characters from the Killer Instinct. We have a bunch of Mortal Kombat ones. These are just so cool. If you look at the back of them, for example, the Shiva one here, it shows what their fatality was, or one of their fatalities, and it shows you how to do it. So I thought that was pretty cool, all the different Mortal Kombat characters. We have some, I don't recall ever playing this one, it's Street Fighter Alpha 2, and all the different characters. I remember playing Street Fighter. I used to really like Sagat in, I guess it would be Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I want to say is where Sagat first came. I could be wrong. I was never a Ryu or a Ken guy. I always liked Dalsum and Blanca. Those were my 2 faves. And again, these ones show the special moves on the back and how to do them. So Ryu's got the Shodoken, or however you pronounce it. So those are cool. We got next up here, there's Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Conquest. There's a whole bunch of those. Again, it just shows whoever the character is on the back, gives some details about them. For some reason on these ones, they have their turn-ons and their turn-offs. So for example, Donkey Kong's turn-on is relaxing on the beach and banana milkshakes, and his turn-off is, well, for one, being kidnapped really bites. Ba-dum-bumts. Some pretty funny things on the back of these. Again, these were just cut out from, you can see the lines on the sides of them in the close-ups. They were just cut out, or not cut out, but torn out of the Nintendo Power magazines. The next set we have here is Star Fox 64. It's all the different characters and then the different couple vehicles that you can get in the game. I thought these are really cool. After that, we got next here is Yoshi's Island 2. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. So it's all the different bosses, and it shows on the back of the description of the boss and how to beat him. So, I mean, these are, back in the day, they didn't have the internet, so you would get these and give you the little tips. I think that's really cool. The next set here is Mario Kart 64, so it's all the different characters from Mario Kart 64. And on the back it just shows what their class is, who they are, what their home course is, different secrets on their home course, so that's pretty cool. And the next one's here, what do we got next is the Virtual Boy. The big fail of Nintendo, or one of the fails, but definitely probably the biggest fail I think Nintendo ever had. So just a bunch of the different Virtual Boy games that came out. And these next ones here, we got Mega Man X2, and then I believe there's a couple Mega Man X in here as well. Just shows all the different bosses and where to find them and how to beat them, so that's pretty cool. And then the last one, and these ones are my favorite out of this, is the Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars. Definitely up there is one of my favorite RPGs. So it's just a bunch of the characters that were in there, where they're from and what their attacks are, and battle strategy if you fight against them. Just so cool. So yeah, it was really awesome to find these. I had these out stored in a bin. I used to collect a whole bunch of different types of cards, and I guess I decided to hold on to these ones. So happy to find these. Maybe when my son gets a little bit older, I'll let him have them and play with them. But for the time being, I'm going to keep them somewhere safe. I don't want to lose them or get them any more damage than what they already are. Then one other thing I want to talk about is another Christmas memory. One Christmas again, I looked it up here. And I think it was around the same time, so probably 1990, and it was Christmas time, and I had a Nintendo for a little while then, so I was hoping to get some games for Christmas, and opening a present from my aunt, open the box, what is it? Ninja Turtle underwear. Yay, whoop-de-doo. I mean, 8-year-old me, I didn't want anything to do with Ninja Turtle underwear. I was too cool for me or whatever, I don't know, it was never a thing that I was into. So yeah, I was like, well, yay, thanks, underwear, kind of toss it off to the side. My mom's laughing at me saying, well, maybe you should look underneath it. And sure enough, I looked underneath it, and what do I find? And I start freaking out doing the whole jumping up and down thing. This isn't it. Unfortunately, I got rid of all mine like a silly person, but it was a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3. So I got Super Mario Bros. 3 from my aunt, complete and brand new in box. She had it hidden in my underwear for a present. So I recall getting this and opening it, and I went and played it all day. Such a great game, one of the better ones on the Nintendo, that's for sure. Definitely in probably my top 5 Nintendo game ever. But yeah, anybody else have any other silly stories like that where they got games and they tossed it aside because they thought it was something else and it was a good hidden prize? I mean, those are always the best. I'm looking forward to being able to do that to my kids when they get a little bit older. So one other thing I wanted to talk about, just doing all the nostalgia, that's I guess the title of this this episode, is the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was really excited when we saw the preview of it at E3. Final Fantasy VII is definitely another RPG I really love. So a couple things about it. I guess a little while after that they released that the combat system is just going to be the single player or real-time single player fighting combat battle system like most of the RPGs seem to be nowadays, where you just control the one character. I'm not a big fan of that, but I'm kind of getting used to it. Playing Xenoblade Chronicles X, I mean, that's how it is. I know the most recent Final Fantasy, that seems to be how it is as well. Excuse me, itchy nose here. But with the newer Final Fantasies, that seems to be how it is now. So I mean, I'm going to give that a shot. I guess it doesn't throw me off too much. But then the most recent news, and I don't know how many of you have heard it, but the most recent news is, and this is a press release quote, is Final Fantasy VII will be told across a multi-part series with each providing its own unique experience. So to me that says that they're planning on releasing this in series, whether it's maybe like something like The Walking Dead, where I know they've released that series by series. I mean, if they're going to do that right away, I want a physical copy of the game, and I don't want I want a physical copy that I can put in and just play the whole thing. I don't want to have to wait a month or whatever for the next part of the series. To me, this seems like it's going to be a money grab. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's more to it. But yeah, it's definitely turned me off on the Final Fantasy VII coming out. As much as I like the game, I'm just going to go back and toss the original one I have in, played on my PS3, PS1 game worked no problem. Or, I mean, I can emulate it. I'm not big into emulating, but I mean, I can just to play it on more high definition TV. But what are your thoughts on that? Is anybody excited for Final Fantasy VII? What's your opinion on the announcement of the episodic release of it? Let me know. Comment below. Yeah. So thanks again for watching. It was a good little throwback to Christmas time, as well as just some more nostalgia things from back when I was a child. So thanks again, and remember to game on and game often.